What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about the sequel to These Violent Delights, Our Violent Ends by Chole Gong. I loved These Violent Delights. It was so fun. I loved seeing this kind of take on a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So when I was going into this book, I was really excited to see what was going to be kept, what was going to be changed, because obviously if you know the story of Romeo and Juliet, you know this is a tragedy. And so I'm like, okay, how are we going to shake it up? Where are we going with this? And I was a little bit disappointed in this book in that at the beginning, like in These Violent Delights, not only is it like a mystery, we have the gang violence and like the politics, but it was also a monster horror story. And the monster horror bits kind of get dropped in this book. I think it was kind of like a little bit of an afterthought. Like it is still present, but more than anything, like this is telling the story of like this huge civil war that breaks out within Shanghai in the 1920s. I love the author's note at the end because she talks about like what was real and what she had to change and all of that, and it was fascinating. I loved learning that, but I really missed the monsters. I wanted more of that horror, and it just wasn't quite as present. That's not necessarily like a knock for this book, but for me, it did take my enjoyment down because it just didn't quite fit with that first book in the series. However, I still think Our Violent Ends was really, really well done. I love the way all of the characters were wrapped up. Like, I am absolutely in love with Kathleen and her entire story arc in this book. And same goes for like Benedict and Marshall. Like, they just were the shining moments. And then obviously with Roma and Juliet, things ended kind of on an interesting note with them in These Violent Delights. So going into this book, like, are they enemies again? Are they gonna work it out? Like, what's going on? There was a section with them that I was so in love with, and I wanted her to double down on it, but then of course we had to go back into that kind of like political intrigue and the civil war that was going to be breaking out within Shanghai. So like overall, I just wish that we could have stayed a little bit more with where we were going in the first book, but as it was, I still think this was an absolutely amazing example of historical fiction, of classic literary retelling. Like, Chole Gong just like really knows what she's doing, and I'm really excited to see what she does next. Like, I'd love to see some more Shakespeare. I would love to return to Shanghai in the 1930s. She kind of gave like a little bit of tease for that. So overall, I am giving this book an A-. This was an absolutely amazing duology. I would say the minus is just because I was still wanting some more of that horror vibes. I wanted those monster horror vibes, and it was there, but just not as much as I would have liked it to be. So I would definitely recommend this duology, and I'm really excited to see what Chole Gong's gonna do next. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.